Here we go. So we're just walking up to see the museum, and we're going up Market Street
In Wootton Under Edge.
here in Wootton. For our ancient architecture.
Yeah, look at that one.
Yeah.
There was a crooked house. Look at that, it's bent in the middle. So cute, so old.
Gorgeous architecture here in Wootton. So we're going to see the museum and hear all about it. And this is the Swan Hotel up here on the left.
Hello, how are you? Very good, yeah, very good, thank you. You?
Good, yeah, good, thanks.
And so we've got the Swan Hotel here, and then what's that one called?
That's the Star Inn, which
Star
is
Circa
my
1572.
local. If I'm going to the pub in Wootton, this is the one that I tend to go to.
But we have no favourites.
We have no favourites, no. The only reason I do is that they do the most magnificent pizzas, home-baked pizzas, on a Friday night.
Ah.
And if I'm feeling hungry and it's been a long week, then a glass of red wine and one of their brilliant pizzas is just enough to tempt me down before going home.
As part of your calorie controlled diet.
Absolutely, which has gone to pot utterly.
So that pub is 1572, it says. It's crazy.
Yes. Been
So
there a
the
jolly
town
long
hall
time.
we're just passing is covered in scaffolding at the moment.
Yeah, the scaffolding seems to be up for absolutely ages.
And there's the cinema, which I think they're going to tell us a bit about the cinema today
Yeah.
as well. So we're just passing the cinema on the left.
The Electric Picture House.
Such a tiny little place to have a cinema.
It's great though, Wootton, because it's got a picture house, it's got an auction house, it's got a swimming pool, it's got the museum, lots
it's
of
got lots of
independent
history.
shops, and some really nice pubs. It's on the Cotswold Way, and it's just a fantastic little town. Really, really gorgeous. We've got Under the Edge arts.
Oh yes,
And,
they do loads, don't
they do so many musical performances and art exhibitions. That's the word. I don't know what it was called even. So here we are at the museum. Can you see who's
We've got
there?
the door open. Excellent. Oh,
Knock. Hello, darling.
here we are.
I'm alright. How are
Nice to
you?
see you. Expecting us.
We are.
Good. Nice to see you.
Yes, thank
We're
you.
not doing an actual live because we had trouble with the signal, but
Right.
we're recording
Yes.
and then we will put it out
Yeah, no,
onto
that sounds great.
the
That's-
world platform.
That's wonderful.
If
That's
you'd like
lovely.
to introduce yourselves.
Yes. Oh, right. I'm Janet Walshe. I'm Vice Chairman of the Wootton Historical Society Heritage Centre. Jeff is Secretary. Jeff Walsh is Secretary. We've got
Husband
one.
and wife then?
Yes, a team.
Good.
Yes, yeah.
Good for you.
We've been in this building for over 30 years now, haven't we?
Wow.
Yeah.
The
And
Heritage Centre's been here for 30 years. We haven't been in here for 30 years.
I've been in this building when it opened as the Heritage
Oh,
Centre,
okay.
so it's about 25 years for me.
Wow.
Jeff came on board when we retired from the cinema, and
Right.
he retired from work, so he came on board as a volunteer here. Yes, yeah.
Excellent.
Because this used to be the old fire station, so this was where the old Wootton fire engine was housed.
And where's the fire engine? Oh, it's up on the top,
Up the
isn't
top
it?
by the
Yes,
chicken surgery.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
yeah.
what have you got here?
Well, this part, as you can probably tell, is the tourist information little part.
Yeah.
Leaflets for people
These
to
are nice, look.
looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't these great? So these are your tea towels.
They're
How
great.
much are they?
They're £5. We sell quite a lot of those.
And you've got them with all sorts of different scenes of the high street on them.
yeah, three
And
different designs.
Yes, that's great. That's
Yeah.
lovely. And the Wootton Under Edge bags.
So our shop, we try and have as much as possible of items that have Wootton Under Edge on them.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to compete with. We've got lots of lovely gift shops in the town. We don't want to compete with them. So we try and have lots and lots of things that actually say Wootton Under Edge, you know,
Yes.
because tourists are looking for, souvenirs to take away with them. And then we've got the leaflets so that people that are looking for places to visit, postcards, and a timeline, which is quite
Oh, yeah,
interesting,
that's
which
fascinating.
we're still working on because it's only gone up to 2005. So that's a job for Jeff.
Yeah.
We've got to try and think of everything that's happened since 2005.
So what's the
Wow.
earliest date on there?
940, I think it is. Is that
Wow.
right? Yes, 940.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was that?
Wotton was first sort of discovered.
Oh, okay.
On the map.
940, wow.
And then
Lovely.
we've got little bullet point history, because obviously tourists and visitors that are coming in are wanting to find out a little bit about the town. I mean, it's only sort of bullet points, because it's enough to, just sort of, when they're visitors, explain a little bit about
And
Wotton.
how is this centre funded?
Fundraising and applying for grants. We have no paid staff, we're all volunteers, so
We have a small grant from the town council
yes,
as well.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So we have to, work pretty hard at,
Yeah.
trying to keep it going.
Mm.
Yeah. But we've got,
Fantastic.
we lost a few volunteers after COVID. We haven't got full complement back again yet. So we're open 4 days a week at the moment. We were 6 days, weren't we, before COVID?
And what are your hours?
10:30 till 3:30. That's
Right.
Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays and Saturdays. But
Okay.
we're hoping at some point we'll get back to our 6 days again.
Yeah.
So if people want to find out about history, they can come and browse your...
Yes, I can show you the
Yeah.
research room. This is the museum part, obviously. And
Oh, that's lovely.
this has been revamped before and during COVID. We used to have sort of old wooden cabinets. It was a bit dark and fusty and musty, so we tried to sort of get a bit more of a wow factor in here now. We have 12,000 artefacts in the collection, so obviously can't get them all out at once.
No.
So they're stored here, and we have a room down at the library, an annex, that we have to pay for a yearly rental to store all the sort of bigger objects and lots of boxes and things. These are interesting. These are folders, these are collections of photographs, streets, buildings, shops. There's an index in the front, and then they are just full of
Gosh, that's amazing.
photographs.
Records.
They are fantastic.
Yes.
So there's schools, there's projects, streets, buildings, and they're all these are for the public to sit and to look at, and sometimes they'll come in and they'll find pictures of themselves in their school
Yes.
classroom
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So these are great. The display at the moment is every committee member was asked to choose an artefact from the collection. Jeff, for instance, it's okay, Dave. You can come in. This is our president, Dave Cow.
Nice to meet you all.
He's our president, but he's not wearing his crown today. No, I've made him blush.
Yes. Take a lot.
What she asked us to do was to choose one artefact, and then she built a display around that artefact. So Jeff, for instance, chose the fire station. So these two cabinets here are all about the fire engine and what this building was before we took it over.
Right.
So every cabinet's got a little explanation in it from the volunteer that set that cabinet up.
Nice.
So that was the idea. So that's the
And
latest.
I'm
That's
intrigued because from a cabinet I can see over there we've got a toilet roll in it, and I'm thinking,
You've
what's that all about?
Yes, that's our treasurer Jim. And what did he put in his extra? He's always been interested in how cities, towns and villages have changed over the years based on old and modern photographs. It's particularly fun when it's in a well-known area. So that's
Oh, I see.
That's
This
our-
is how toilet rolls have
yes,
changed.
how they used to be.
Look at
Thank
that.
goodness they
I
changed.
can remember the Izal toilet paper.
Oh
but
yes, I can. Yes.
Not as far back
That
as
was
those.
like
Yeah.
greaseproof paper, wasn't it? It's awful.
Yes. You wouldn't want to use that
Terrible.
now, would you?
No.
And we've got the screen. When Jeff came on board, obviously we were running the cinema, and when he came on board he wanted a screen and an overhead
Oh yes,
projector.
of course, yes.
Yeah.
So what he does is every time we have a new display, he sets a screen presentation up to do with that display.
Nice.
This wall here goes with this screen, and this wall was put in for the 4-day celebration of the Queen's Jubilee.
Oh,
yes.
So everything over there is to do with jubilees in the past leading up to, our celebrations here in Wotton. And the crowns aren't normally here, but they were the trail that was round the shops that the
Right.
brownies did.
yes.
And we said that, we'd display them here for a few weeks after, so mums and dads and
Yes.
aunties and uncles and grannies can come in and look at them.
Nice. So very engaged with the community all the time.
Yes,
Then.
yeah. We liaise with the schools and scouts and cadets, and we have, people coming in and they're given a little talk and a tour around. And we can help the school children, especially on projects if they're doing something. You know, recently there was one on local history, so we can do photocopies of pictures for them and photographs, and they can go away with a bit of a collection.
Yeah.
We get lots of inquiries from people about families, cottages that someone's moved into, and in our research room here, this is just a small part of the collection. Everything you see in boxes will be artefacts. We've got a storeroom out the back here with another load of artefacts in, and then the annex down at the library with the bigger artefacts. And then we get lots of requests for information. You know, someone's moved into a cottage in Wootton, and they want to know the history of it. We can find all of that for them if we've got it.
There's so much history in the buildings in Wootton, isn't there? Like in Relish, they've got that piece of Kingswood Abbey, is it?
Yes, the beautiful fireplace.
Like 1200 or something.
Yeah,
It's
I first saw
insane.
that when I first moved to Wootton, which is in '73, and it was a greengrocer's.
Yeah.
We had 5 greengrocers when I moved to Wootton.
There you go. Times have changed,
They
unfortunately.
have, yes, and that lovely fireplace was there. You know, that was obviously, well, it's always been there, I suppose.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is kind of the boys' room in a way. We're very into technology. We've got a guy called Hugo on our committee who's really, really a whizzo with all the IT. And we had a grant for an ad-lib system, which is a database. And the guys have been working very hard on getting all 12,000 artefacts on the database so people can access it from home, from abroad. We get lots of inquiries from abroad.
That's brilliant, isn't
Yeah,
it? To use
yeah.
everybody's
It's a
skill
great-
sets like
It is,
that.
it's a great facility. and
People,
we've got-
volunteers bring in their own particular skill set,
Yes.
which is great.
Yeah.
I have to say, I mean, I'm impressed at how organised and neat and tidy it all is. I mean,
What
I
were
don't
you
really
expecting?
know. Well, museums to me have always been slightly sort of fuddy-duddy sort of places that are a bit dark and
This
a
was
bit dreary. But this is fab. I mean, it's lively, it's entertaining, it's well
Yeah.
organised.
This was we were able to do quite a lot during COVID because there's a few of us that are husbands and wives. So when we were allowed to come out, like Jeff and I could come in here, or a couple of the others could come in, and we did do some decorating, lots of cleaning,
Yes.
and the guys have been doing a lot of sorting out. This is the only room, in fact, that we haven't decorated. This room is all going to come out and hopefully be redone. Out here we've got just a small office. People are surprised at how much space there is in here. Little office with a space for us to make drinks and things like
Nice.
that, and a little fridge.
Very good.
And then I don't know, I'd love to show you out here, but I don't know whether you'd be able to. We have, this is quite fun. We decorated our loo and we have a Banksy.
Oh, excellent. Obviously an original.
In here, stay where you are, Dave. I don't know whether you can get in here, but this is more artefacts, as you can see.
Yes. Here's an
Dave's
artifact.
not an artifact.
I'm Dave Carroll.
We've just been given a fantastic collection, well, a few months ago. The Cornock family, who you've probably heard of, it's a local familiar name, isn't it?
Yes.
And the family have given us, Mr. Eames used to be the official photographer for Cotswold Collotype, the Berkshire Gravure down at Potter's Pond. And the family have given us his entire collection of photographs.
Wow.
Thousands.
It's going to stand out there in the main part. It's so lovely.
So we've had one volunteer going through, no, a few volunteers actually, going through all of those. So they'll become the Cornock collection.
Amazing.
During COVID, we've had a lot of people that have been having sort outs, granny's attics,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so we've been people coming in and giving us stuff, which is brilliant.
I love looking at old pictures.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, that's
wow.
brilliant.
Oh, can I
overview.
mention?
Yes.
You're asking about fundraising. We produce, as Fifi knows, I know, the Wootton calendar every year.
Yes.
This started with the cinema, when we were running the cinema. So this calendar started in 2005 when we were raising funds to get the cinema up and running. Then when Gareth and Sam took over, the calendar became a fundraiser for here. So we have just sent 2 days ago next year's calendar off to be printed. And then before Christmas we were working with the I Love Wootton face group and we produced the I Love Wooden book, which is
Oh,
all
that's
the
a
lovely
It's a nice
photographs.
coffee table book, isn't
Lovely.
It's a lovely book, and we sold a lot before Christmas. And the photographs for this year's calendar are from their collection.
Yeah.
So it should be a really nice calendar.
Very nice. I think you're very busy and productive, and hats off to you for all your hard work.
Oh,
It's
we
amazing.
enjoy it. We've always
Yes.
said everything that we've done, isn't it, Jeff, to do with volunteering has to be fun. If it's
Yes.
not
Oh, yes.
fun, you shouldn't be doing it.
That's right.
First set of criteria.
Yes.
Don't get
And
into debt, make it fun,
yes.
and just keep everybody happy.
Sounds
Yes.
like a good plan.
I have to say, I feel very ashamed. I've not been into the museum before, but I'm blown away. It's lovely. I will be coming back and actually browse around properly because there's some lovely things here.
That's good. It's
Really
what we
interesting.
need, you know, because the displays will change as well.
Yes.
They don't stay, you know, we do a
Yes.
cabinet at a time. And there are an awful lot. I mean, we know there's lots of people that haven't been in. We've been busy, haven't we, the last few months with
Oh, very
tourists and
busy.
visitors.
Yes.
There's definitely more people.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to promote that now. I'll take some brochures and things back up to the shop.
Yep.
And start telling everybody that they have to come down here. And yeah, it's fantastic.
Thanks. And before we go, I think you were going to tell us a little bit about the cinema briefly.
Yes. I'm going to pass that one to Jeff.
What do we know about the cinema?
What do we know about the cinema? Well, the most recent history is that 20 years ago, about this month, the cinema closed with the old, with Jess and Andy, who'd run it for 10 years. The cinema's been here for 110 years,
Wow.
opening and closing at various points.
Mm.
And the last stint was in 1992. Andy and Jess came along. They ran it for 10 years, and when it closed, a group of residents got together and decided they would reopen the cinema, thinking it would take a couple of months. In fact, it took 3 years. So after 3 years of really hard work from a whole gamut of people across the town raising the funds, we reopened in 2005. So we ran it with volunteers as a social enterprise. What's the word I'm looking for?
Social cooperative.
Social cooperative enterprise, which enabled us to actually put money back into the community. And then Gareth and Sam came along, who were mad about films, and offered to take over the cinema as a commercial enterprise and run it as a business. And so we took that jump, and they have raised the level of the cinema to improve all the facilities for everybody. And I think this summer was their best summer ever.
Oh, that's good.
So that things are going well.
Yes.
That's not to say that people shouldn't come, they must come. They've got to keep coming.
Yes.
The old adage is, Michael Chappell used to be the president of our cinema group. He said, if you don't use it, lose it. So that's an adage which still applies today. And we've had a great run of films this summer, and so that's worked out with good audiences. But
Yeah,
you
the
know.
seats are really comfortable and the suites are good and there's wine
Yes.
and
yes,
Yeah.
it's a really lovely cinema.
it's
Yeah.
very
I've
modern.
seen several films,
It's
so I
nice and
love
modern
it.
inside as well, isn't it?
Yes.
The outside, it's an old building. It's built. The
Yes.
shell of the building is very old, but the inside has been up very well. And Gareth and Sam are doing a great job in there.
So let's book in another date, and perhaps we can have a little tour, and you can show us in and around the cinema.
Absolutely.
When we can book that in on another
Yeah.
Friday. We better wrap this one up today, but
Yes,
thanks
do
for
that.
that. That's
Okay.
very, very interesting, and thanks for the tour.
Very
And,
informative.
Well, thank you for coming in and
You're welcome.
helping to promote us.
We definitely will, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.